Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we're going to hop into the LR tier list. Now, let me just quickly give kind of like an update on where we sit. Now, there is a contender for this tier list who honestly probably would make it. Broly, Chila, and Lemo, but they are not out yet. And I usually do like to do a lot of content on a character before I'm comfortable kind of like ranking it in like a system like this. Like I do, again, I do like to be solid with these, right? Like I'm not really kind of just like, all right, data download hits, time to fly out the tier list as fast as possible. I want to be able for these to stand up to scrutiny, right? So Broly, Chila, and Lemo, I'm just gonna not consider them because if I was to consider them, I would want several more days, and I'm already a little behind because I was sick. I mean, I'm starting to feel pretty good now, for sure, but I don't want to be delayed anymore on things. I probably would have gotten this video out several days ago if I had never gotten sick, right? So we're really just going to focus on Gogeta and Broly. Broly, Chila, and Lemo, I mean, we will have plenty of time throughout the month to focus on them as well. Okay. So, let's just jump in. We have two major groundbreaking new LRs. We have Dokkan Fest LR Broly, and then we have Carnival LR Blue Gogeta. Both are tremendously powerful characters. Now, this is going to come up numerous times throughout this list. You guys got to understand, Broly and Gogeta, I mean, I don't really view them as completely changing the landscape of the game. I don't think that red zone completely switched up the entire game. Like it has before and stuff like that. But understand, like the really crazy fights for these anniversaries typically come in part 3. So I don't even think that what we have right here, right now, will stand true in a couple of weeks. I don't think so. There it is. I would argue this. I will probably like Broly and Gogeta more in 3 weeks than I do today. And that will depend upon how kind of the environment of the game is molded a little bit with the upcoming difficult content, right? I do want to keep this in mind. All right, I kind of want to move a little bit fast until we get to kind of like the upper reaches. We'll start here at number 10. We have the Blue Goku, Blue Vegito character. This character just has so much discussion, so much like fighting, whining, blah, 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 blah. I value one specific thing with them, and that is their ability to sit in turn 1, slot 1, better than almost the entire game. Their defensive ability, turn 1, slot 1, is really good. And that really matters to me. Keep in mind, I don't go crazy for damage like other people. Oh my god, wowie zowie, the damage is flowing from the heavens. Oh my god, it's so crazy. But like, if you can't deal with the bosses attacking you, you can't even get to attack in the first place. Defense is always better than offense, and it'll always be this way. I like this character at number 10. Mostly because of this. And, I mean, we could get a little bit of a spoiler here. I have never liked these turn 5 transformation conditions. Future Gohan, Sword of Hope Trunks, Zamasu, this Vegito Blue. I have never ever once liked it. I've always thought it was too deep in the fight. This character is the worst among them by far though, because not only is it their 5th turn, but it's also that annoying ass HP restriction attached to it. Next we have Tech LR Fusion Zamasu. I do think he's probably potentially in a little bit of a better spot, thanks to Broly existing. Although, to be fair, Broly as a super boss's leader does mostly want what, chat? He wants other Saiyans with Saiyan links, is what Broly wants. And guess what Zamasu is? He's a Realm of Gods big bad boss character, right? But I still do like Fusion Zamasu quite a bit. Again, I'm really not even considering his Infinite Zamasu transformation that much. I don't really feel like I typically see it. It's pretty uncommon. But this guy, just like Blue Vegito, he has incredibly high, strong damage reduction at the start of the fight. It really matters when you're at your best right away. So there's Fusion Zamasu at 9. We don't need to spend too much time on him. Next, we have UI. Now, right around here is potentially where Broly, Chila, and Lemo could come in. I'm not sure if I like them better than UI at the moment. I do think that Broly, Chila, and Lemo with that full field of orb change, that's what gets really crazy. UI is just very good. His ability to kind of be very, very strong defensively, turn one, slot one, with the dodge and stuff like that, I've found to be very good. I've gotten great results out of STRUI. He could do decent damage. He'll have some support. He's got the big dodging. I like him. He brings a lot to the table, man. That dodge is really strong against these bosses that just do so much damage so fast, so early. Right? Look, Fusion Zamasu, I would say, is probably still the hardest fight in the game. If I had to get a number 2, I do feel like it's probably the Beerus fight, which, keep in mind, does cancel dodge. But UI is very dominant against Fusion Zamasu still. Next, we have Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. Obviously, I have too many characters here again. Obviously, their Super Saiyan setup is enhanced even more, with both Broly and Gogeta being Super Saiyan characters. But, I mean, like, this character, this team essentially still has a bit of a weakness, which is kind of like a slot 1 issue when you're running this team. You do need a little bit of luck, because Future Gohan, he can go slot 1, but it's not the best, right? Broly and Gogeta could go slot 1, but it's not really the best until Broly is transformed, obviously. I like this character. One thing I would argue against with people, I do see kind of like the implication from people that this character is very weak defensively, and I don't really agree with that. It's like, obviously, as a int character, they could get completely walloped by like physical fusion Zamasu, but I don't view this character as like super pathetic defensively or anything like that. And keep in mind, these fights, like, they were short coming into the anniversary. Now with Gogeta and Broly, these fights, like, they're even shorter. The time crunch is even smaller. So the crazy burst damage that this character does early on can really matter, considering these fights don't last that long, man. Like, they just don't. They don't. Fights don't last that long. Next, we have this GT Goku and Vegeta. A main reason I have them this high is still mainly because of their standby. You get them like turn 2, you go right into their standby, you get their revive. That ability is still very, very clutch. They could build up decent damage reduction. This is still just a strong character. I've seen varied thoughts about this character for a while, but just being able to pop into this standby right away is huge. If they didn't have that, I certainly would be far less high in this character, but I still like them. I think that they're pretty effective right there. Next, let's just grab the next 2. We'll grab Future Gohan and Bulma. I don't really feel like these 2 characters' roles have changed. Now, Future Gohan can have a negative interaction with Broly. I should mention this, because Broly and Future Gohan, both of their domains activate on turn 5. Right, turn 5 is when they happen. But Broly's is an active skill, and Future Gohan's is just from his passive. So Future Gohan's, like, is just always going to pop out before Broly's. So if you're running Broly and Future Gohan together, you do have to be mindful to make sure that Future Gohan, his domain is activating after you could get your Broly domain out. Because Dokkan, I think one huge problem they did here with domains is they made it to where, like, you can only have one. I just think it's so stupid. I don't know why you can't pop a domain and then just go, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to use a different domain. Like, we're just going to, like, overwrite that. Like, it doesn't, it's very stupid. I don't see why it can't just work that way. It's a little frustrating. It's not the biggest deal. Again, you could still just float this guy away, let Broly get his domain out first, but it is an interaction that I do think is worth kind of mentioning here, because obviously Broly is going to be at a very high spot on this list. Now, Future Gohan still has huge damage reduction, great defensive ability. Like he's just going to be very good for a long time to come with how good his defensive ability is. Bulma, I mean, orb changing, multiple turn support. She's still really crazy. I think I potentially could have even moved Bulma up. I do think. Maybe one spot. Maybe. I like the rainbow orb changing plus multiple turn support plus guard plus damage reduction. Like she's got everything. This is a ridiculously crazy character. I saw people pointing out this character versus Broly, Chila, and Limo, and that's just dick smoking at its finest. This is a character that's giving multiple turn support and always has rainbow orb changing, which Broly and Chila and Limo are not doing and not doing. So that's pretty easy that Bulma is clearly better than them, unless you're smoking dick. And then... okay. So we get to the top 3. Now, I mean, listen. Okay? People are going to be mad at me. I come into these lists ready to go. Okay? I'm ready for the angry quote tweets if people disagree. I'm ready for the, oh my God, the French to call me a big fat idiot. Like, oh my God, no way, you guys, how original. But yeah, I go Gogeta, Broly, and then I do have Orange Piccolo still at 1. Now, it's very simple here. Why would I have Orange Piccolo above Broly and Gogeta? Why would I do this? Gogeta's right here. Because the thing about Piccolo, I just flat out value what Piccolo is doing the first couple of turns more than Broly and Gogeta. Broly is pretty good the first couple of turns. He's pretty good. You put him in slot 2, you put him in slot 3. He could do a couple of attacks. He could build up a little bit. Again, he could do some damage, and then he's generally like a strong character, right? Like he's like a good slot 2 character for the first several turns. Now, once you hit turn 5 and you transform with Broly, he becomes the best character in the game. I have no reservations or nothing about Transform Broly being number 1, because he is. Flat out. Just period. If you have any experience with this game, you jump in, you see what Broly is doing once he's transformed. He's absolutely number 1. But here's the thing about that. Dude, Broly transforms mad late, man. He has the same thing as Sword of Hope Trunks, as Vegito Blue, as Future Gohan. I mean, I don't know. Everyone else is just, we're just going to pretend that this hasn't been an issue for months and months and months. These fights haven't changed. If anything, the introduction of Broly and Gogeta into these fights are now even quicker. Dude, you are so often against Physical Fusion Zamasu turn 3 now. Turn 3. You have to survive potentially multiple turns against Physical Fusion Zamasu before this guy even transforms. I'm sorry. Guess what? Orange Piccolo, you just go into Orange Piccolo form on literally turn 3, right? I don't know. This guy is very comfortable slot 1, turn 1. Much more so than Broly or Gogeta, right? Broly and Gogeta are mostly going to be like slot 2 or 3 characters. Now, Gogeta in particular, his transformation, he is a turn faster than Broly, which does matter. The difference between turn 4 and turn 5, again, I would argue is the Grand Canyon. It makes a significant difference. No matter what turn Gogeta shows up on, you float him, and then his second turn, you're transformed into blue, right? So that is good. That is good. I don't know. We're not really going to want to run this guy in slot 1 early on in these fights unless we're forced to. I feel like you do want to transform into blue as quick as possible. And then once he becomes blue, again, here's the thing. We're talking about number 1 overall in the game. Gogeta's doing damage that Piccolo can't compete with. Broly's doing damage that Piccolo can't compete with. But, oh shit, right. Damage is cool, but there's things that are a little bit more important than that, right? We do kind of got to remember that. I like Blue Gogeta. I think if this could trigger his first turn in blue, I could put this guy above Orange Piccolo, right? But this is bare minimum, turn minimum of turn 6, his active. Again, if you could get this guy's active up earlier, he would be way better. But guys, these fights don't last that long. It's tough to. I mean, you'll see Transform Blue Gogeta, but not as active skill every single fight, right? Like you won't even see Transform Broly every fight. Like you're not gonna see it. It's not gonna happen. This shit is stupid. They were idiots for this. Pure idiots. Like I would rather Transform Broly is weaker if it was a more consistent thing. I would take that. To me, it's just no fun just sitting around waiting half of the fight to actually I don't know. I hate it. I hate that turn 5 shit. I never was like, oh, future Gohan's domain is easy to get. Never once said it. I always said it was tough. You go back, right? Dude, I've always been on this of this turn 5 shit I don't like. So it's like if fights were, 2 turns longer, I probably would have Gogeta and Broly above Piccolo. Once they're transformed, Broly and Gogeta, obviously, they're going to be stronger than Piccolo. Piccolo cannot match them in terms of damage. But that giant form, it's crazy, dude. Like that. Bro, people are going to be mad at me, but I mean, guys, again, things didn't just change. Snap. Now everything is way different. Now all of a sudden you don't need to be super crazy immediately. Well, actually, wait. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Right? Like I would much rather Broly's transformation happened about 2 turns faster, and same with Gogeta's. I don't know. You know what they should have just did? Both of these characters, keep them exactly the same, and then their transformation condition is just next attacking turn for both of them. Boom. That's it. That's what we want to see. The ability to just do it on our second turn. And if you want to, if you don't have to, you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm comfortable with this. Again, I know people are going to be really mad because everyone's been going crazy. Oh, Broly is number 1. I do agree when he transforms, he has no flaws. He's just obscene. It's ridiculous. He's supporting. He gives ki. He's giving actual damage support. He has guard plus damage reduction. He supers 500 times. Nowhere in my criticisms of this character are we talking about this guy's kit in any way. It's the transformation condition. That's the point. That's the point. Once you transform with this guy, you've won for sure. But at the same time, it's pretty much true for Piccolo, except Piccolo's transformation happens 2 turns earlier, right? That's it's tough to lose when Orange Piccolo comes out, man. All right, it's 2 turns earlier than Broly, man. I'm sorry. I didn't make Broly. I didn't make Orange Piccolo. I didn't make all this stuff. Now, I will say again, the real tough content fights have not dropped. So, I mean, people, are going to be probably very annoying about this tier list, but there's a very good chance when we get our part 3 content, I will have Broly and Gogeta above Piccolo. But just as things stand right now, where I view Fusion Zamasu as the hardest fight, and then probably Beerus as the number 2 fight. And, I mean, funny enough, guess which character cucks Beerus the hardest? It's Piccolo. The answer's Piccolo. Guess which character is probably second best for Beerus? It's Broly. It's Broly. It's 1-2 right here, man. Not just, throwing random shit out. So there's that. In terms of this, I kind of just separated it like that. I felt like those, I was kind of not I don't know, Gogeta. I could put Gogeta above Bulma. That's the only spot I was thinking about. The only spot on this list I'm a little, I was kind of back and forth was the cutoff between Gogeta and Bulma, but I feel like this is fine. This is fine, and this works well. A little bit of a cutoff right there. We have a little bit of difference. This is the last LR tier list I did. 16, 17, 18. They're not really on the teams that were buffed by any of this stuff that's come out. Right, the Android team is in the exact same spot that it was on December 15th, but all these other teams with all these other characters are in a better spot. Sort of hope Trunks is good. I mean, he's not just all of a sudden shit or anything like that. But I mean, what is, again, I've been consistent over months. Again, people could say whatever they want to, but my placements with Broly and Gogeta is just matching the consistency I've had for months talking about a lot of these characters, right? Trunks is a little glass cannony. He can be at times the first couple of turns. When Sort of Hope Trunks transforms, I've never had one problem with him, but it's not just guaranteed transformation with Sort of Hope Trunks, not just guaranteed transformation with Broly, right? Like, if you actually, like, pull up these videos and stuff like that, you'll see I've been pretty consistent. I still do kind of like this character because, again, their ability to do their standby, but obviously, I mean, they're not, like, I feel fine pushing them off. So, yep, let me know what you guys think. Again, I feel like people are going to be mad that I didn't kind of just, like, blindly put Broly and Gogeta at 1 and 2. I mean, I could have just put Broly at 1, could have just put Gogeta at 2, could have put Orange Piccolo at 3, but I feel like that would be, if I did that, that would be me lying to myself and just being like, yeah, guys, see, I fit in. Look, Broly 1, Gogeta 2. Like, yeah, that's not what I actually think. Sorry. Piccolo, his effect is still a little too crazy. It is what it is, man. We'll see. If they're gonna, because, again, Broly and Gogeta, their introduction into the game only crunched the fights shorter. These fights did not extend. Man, we need the fights to extend a little bit if Broly and Gogeta are going to be truly dominant. Broly not being able to get his transformation until turn 5. Gogeta not being able to get his crazy target mechanic ability until turn 6. That shit matters. The fight is done. The fight is done by the time their best abilities come out, man. The fight is done. Like, it's not the same thing with Piccolo. You get that shit on turn 3, man. Very easily. Very easily, very for free. Turn 3. It's just out. It's just out. And Broly and Gogeta, it's not just out. It's not out on turn 3. So, let me know what you guys think. And I'll catch y'all next time. Yep. Next time. We'll see you next time.